Well, hello, friends in house churches all over the place. I come to you again with another discussion time around the whole concept of the church. Um, we did a few weeks ago a panel discussion where we took questions from the floor, all concerning different aspects of church life. And one of the interesting things that came out of that was a number of people asked questions about money and tithing and what's the place of tithing in church life nowadays. And so, in response to that, Jason did a sermon on the generous church. You know, the church, money, and you, and how it all fits together. Now, money is a dicey subject, and it's one that the church has maybe earned a bad reputation as far as how they handle money and how they ask for money. And so, just in the interest of full disclosure, I will repeat a couple of things that Jason mentioned in his at the beginning of his message. One important thing is that the teaching that comes from the Bible on giving applies to everyone. And so when Jason is preaching about money and when we're discussing money, it's not uh, it's not to create a conflict of interest. These teachings apply to us as pastors just as much as to anybody else, and so we're all accountable for the same thing when it comes to our stewardship practices. Another important thing to keep in mind is that we as pastors uh, don't make the decisions when it comes to our money that we collect as a church. We have a board of elders that's representative of the whole congregation, and it's the leadership of our church that guides us in that whole process of deciding how to spend the money that the church raises. So, with those two things in mind, I think the last thing that I would want to highlight for you is that the most important aspect of stewardship is to remember how much God gave up in order for us to be in relationship with Him. It cost God His Son in order for us to be able to know Him. And as you talk about money and how you use money as an act of worship for God, it's always good to go back to the cross and reflect on just everything that God has done for us and just how deeply He loves us, and it really puts things in perspective in terms of what how we ought to be sharing the wealth that God's put in under our stewardship. Anyways, God bless you as you discuss these things, and may you find yourself just with a new appreciation for God's love and His Spirit at work in your life.